My name is Joel Babbs. I'm a 34-year veteran of the San Francisco Police Department. This is my world premiere, my coming out party. I don't apply or use social media of any kind. This is just to tell the world what Gavin Newsom and the Democratic Party has done to a law-abiding citizen, a police officer with an impeccable record of service and commitment to the public. How I've been falsely accused of a multitude of crimes just because I came into the department rich, a millionaire, not just rich in knowledge and rich in worldly things. I came in cash money rich. And I amassed trillions of dollars through my investment style that they became so upset with at my entry. And I was falsely accused then of lying on the background package, which, being a descendant of slaves, they told me, under the 13th Amendment, I violated the 13th Amendment on slavery, and the punishment for that was the punishment was transformed into being barred for life from representation, from any type of human decency or civil rights. Everything was taken away from me on that day. I did not lie. I did give a 2 weeks notice, and I went through the proper procedure. It shows I have you can check my Google Drive. It wasn't until my employer called her, Anna Brown, Inspector Brown, on November 29th, 1991, and told her that I didn't need the job, that I was rich. And I would just be using the job as an experiment to just make myself wealthier. She agreed with him, and she called me up at my place of employment then. I was a proprietor. I was the owner of my company at that time where she called. And she told me that I lied and to resign. I refused to resign, and she said she's going to see to it that I never get paid, that I probably would lose my life, and I would never be believed no matter what. She made good on that commitment. She said she had the full faith and power of the city of San Francisco to remove me because I was an at-will employee, to resign to her over the phone, which I adamantly refused and told her I wouldn't be resigning. She let the city know that I was not resigning, and the city attorney's office, led by Luis Rennie at that time, let me know that her people let me know that I was in violation of the 13th Amendment on slavery, that I am a descendant of slaves, and that I committed a crime. The crime was lying, which I didn't do, and the punishment was being barred. If the punishment was transformed into today's category as being barred back then in 1991. So that barment is a lifetime barment. You'll see from the city attorney's office barring me from any payments whatsoever. You'll see the word barred on my Google Drive. with Matthew, I believe it's Matthew Rothschild. Matthew Rothschild. And so they gave me a permanent barring me from any money. Most of the time I was making, after my checks, a bunch of overtime. I was told that they just wouldn't pay me. Just see how you make it, and I should really contemplate or thinking about or been urged to commit suicide on multiple occasions, thousands of occasions over the years. To date, I've had over 1,080 missed paychecks during that time. I haven't been paid. My credit score is nothing. My wife, due to my inability to earn a living anywhere, I'm barred from working in America, period. My wife, as a result of that, my wife lost our house, and house went into foreclosure on the day of my birthday, April 2nd of this year. Lost my house, lost our house at the direction of Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom felt, well, he and Willie Brown came up with this idea that I would be a channeled slave. Channeled slave is he becomes the property of, he becomes the inherent property of someone else. Once he's handed over, I become the property of the next mayor, the next administration, and so on. So that's the way it was explained to me at that time. So I can never be, I would never be free of my slavery. Let's see. When you're enslaved by the only party here is the Democratic Party, everyone is in cahoots. Everyone, it's stated with them verbally within the Democratic organization. It's explained in great detail on how to ban one person in the United States of America, and that's Joel Babbs, and how you make it ironclad, and you do so. Everyone has to be complicit. Everyone where his name comes across their desk or in any form, be it whatever way possible, that you are not to represent him no matter what. You are not to give advice to him no matter what. So that leads to everything that I've said in the first two videos. And also imagine this, America, the world, because the world will soon know this. Imagine this, that the Democratic Party, Gavin Newsom and Willie Brown, but mainly Gavin Newsom, has made Joel Babbs' life a living hell because of the color of my skin and the amount of money that I amassed in my lifetime. That no one's ever done this, period, in the course of history, in the history of the world. No one's amassed trillions of dollars like Joel Babbs, all accounted for and everything by them, by the government, certified, but yet they still refuse to pay me. Imagine this. Imagine going to a meeting, being called to a meeting, receiving paperwork. Summoned to a meeting back in 1992 at the city attorney's office, and they're stripping you of your livelihood. They're stripping you of your dignity. They're stripping you of your manhood. They're bringing you back to 1865 before the amendment was introduced. And they're putting me back in chains. And everyone is complicit. Everyone in the United States, every Democrat, because I don't think any Republicans know this, every Democrat in California laugh and look the other way. People that have the same skin color as me, Asians, Latinos, whites, everyone say, well, hey man, it ain't at least it ain't me. You got money, JB. Why don't you just leave? No. It's inhumane. It's against the law. And now it's time for you guys to go to jail. Imagine this. On your background package, not only did I have to submit, once I came down to the city attorney's office in 1992, May of 1992, where I was told upon graduation, walking across the stage, I wouldn't be paid anymore. Imagine this. They said, one of the items you bring down, a couple pieces of items you bring down there to the city attorney, they're requesting of you, Officer Babbs, is your marriage license, a picture of my family, my wife and kid, a picture of my parents and my brother and sisters, and also a picture of my prom date. Why is that? Why would someone have to produce anything like that? Is crazy. I didn't know at the time, and I asked several of my classmates, did they have to produce anything like that? They said no, they had to list who their parents were and things like that. It's not to establish citizenship or anything like that, but it's just to establish, for Joel Babbs, a family tree, a pictured family tree of them to pick off and assassinate. And she doesn't know this. She doesn't know that I'm going to say this. She doesn't know the reason why this happened. And she will know once she sees this, and it's just heartbreak. It's going to be heartbreaking for her all over again. My prom date back then was the mother of Mario Woods, Wendy Barnes. That's Mario Woods' mother. Gavin Newsom came to me. Willie Brown came to me. The city attorney's office representative came to me and said, is this your son? Is his mother, do you have a kid with her? I said, no, I don't. They said, we believe that's your kid, Mario Woods. At that time, it was 2011. They came to me and they had this photo. They had a photo just like this, the other photo they have. And they said, tell us again. They interviewed me. They interrogated me for over an hour and a half. Is this your son? He's out there having problems. We believe he's schizophrenic. And if you don't resign, we're going to kill him. Now you ask, and I never explained to you why the government, Gavin Newsom, the Democrats keep wanting Joel Babbs to resign it's not resign, is to kill myself, is because the state of California inherits all those millions at that time that they figured. They would inherit all of my money. In doing so, it's easier when you have Malia Cohen up there as the California commissioner overseeing finances. She's the commissioner of California. They could easily done it without her had I committed suicide earlier. But they can't get the money unless Joel Babbs commits suicide. Untimely death, things like that might be adjudicated, but a suicide is ironclad. And that money would go unclaimed. That's why their approach has always been take my own life. That's why their approach has been take everything from me. And then I will only have left on the table with suicide. So that's why I'm telling you this. My friend Wendy has suffered at the hands of me because they are being barbaric. They couldn't get me to kill myself, but if they kill everyone around me, then I would kill myself. This person right here has been under excruciating pain, abuse at the hands of John Burris in the court system. They ruled his death. Excessive force. He was executed at the direction of Gavin Newsom at 3rd and Fitzgerald on December 2nd. Everything is always going to be on the 2nd because of my birthday is on the 2nd, April 2nd. Everything Gavin Newsom told me is everything going to be done on the 2nd. I lost my house on April 2nd, my birthday here. And not this house. I would like to say that in verification of me being called down to the scene of that fateful night, December 2nd of 2015, I was called down there by Gavin Newsom's, someone claiming to be Gavin Newsom. I was called down there to go see your son. We shot him down like a dog. He's lying at 3rd and Fitzgerald. We executed him. And the phone hung up. So I immediately went over there to the scene. I saw a fellow retired officer that can verify and substantiate my story of Joel Babbs being there at that time when my son lay there. And that was killed by our firing squad. Over 40 shots were fired at this young man, unarmed young man with a butter knife, not even a knife. Take a look at the pictures. Take a look at the pictures, his position of where he's standing and how there was no immediate threat or danger. These 8 or 12 officers, I believe it's 8 officers, was no reason to kill him, to execute him. Time and distance. We're taught time and distance. There's no reason to kill them. It was not a threat. He was in a position of submission. Even though he was standing, his only crime was they alleged to be my son. Gavin Newsom ordered the hit. Gavin Newsom ordered my son killed. Okay? And let me tell you something else. In charge that night, that was his first critical incident. My friend, Aaron Lozada, was in charge of that scene. And down the street, in front of the old Coca-Cola company, I spoke to Paul Lozada. Paul Lozada was right there. I was talking to him. Paul Lozada can verify that I was on that scene. He doesn't know I was called to that scene. I was on that scene where my son, of course he's my son. He's my son. He's a son of God, so he's my son. If they believe he's my son, I believe he's my son because he's a son of God. But still, as a black man, you shot him down like a dog because of Joel Babbs. Now I'm done appealing to people that are liars and cheats. The Democratic Party, Gavin Newsom, Willie Brown, Javier Becerra, past mayors, current mayors. You guys have blood on your hands. This is Mario Wood's mother. You shot him down like a dog because of me, and then you had me go to DOC, where I sat in there in the room. I didn't want to come down there, but you guys made and forced me down there. You weren't paying me $1.70 an hour, $1.70 for a week's pay. And you set me there with one of the guys, Scott, and he laughs at me every day. And you guys wait for me to go off on this guy and challenge him to a fight, so I can be booked. How barbaric is that? How do you people sleep at night? President Trump, my president, I never cared about voting for Democrats or Republicans. But I got to tell you, the way I was treated by the Democrats all my police life, I am now a lifelong supporter of the Republican Party. There's no way I would ever support a Democrat on anything. A Democrat in California, in the United States of America, should be abolished. The Democratic Party should be abolished for crimes like this. Joel Babbs, black, white, Asian, Filipino, everybody looks the other way when it comes. I'm the only enslaved black man in America today. I'm not afforded any rights, not even money, not even to make a living, but I still exist because I made my way. I went against the grain. I didn't say no. I said, you're not going to treat me like that. I know it's a crime. I didn't just say, no, you're not going to do that to me. I went on and I elaborated on how they were being wrong, on how they were only treating one man in the United States of America. I want all the countries to look at this. This is what the Democratic Party does to success in the United States of America. Not one Democrat should ever be to run for office in the United States of America. Democratic Party should be abolished, torn up. There is no reason why Joel Babbs to this day has not been paid, to this day has not been reinstated. And let me just go on to say, hey, I'm not even upset. I last because of God. God says, hold on. Hold on, Joel. I talk to God every day. God says, be patient. You've been patient as an investor. I'm a good investor because I'm a businessman. I'm a better businessman because I'm an investor. One thing that investing does, it shows you have to be patient. Patient is how you make money. Warren Buffett has a saying that the stock market is an instrument where money is transferred from, listen to this, the impatient to the patient, like me. I hold stocks forever. I'm a liberator of growth of companies. Be it Microsoft, the money that you hold for Joel Babbs, that's rightfully mine, that will, when Donald Trump sees this, will sign an executive order, and it's a damn shame that he needs to do that, releasing my money. At the same time he does that, I have overwhelming, I just missed his birthday, I have overwhelming evidence to convict, to arrest and convict, listen to this, Gavin Newsom. Mr. Trump, Donald Trump as my president, sir, I bring you Gavin Newsom, sir. Lock him up for the death, for the murder, for ordering the execution of my son, Mario Woods. This is his mother. This is his grieving mother. If that doesn't tug on your heartstrings, nothing will. Joel Babbs is vilified because of his success, because of his wealth. That's the only reason I'm here today. They wanted to make me a slave. Like the other 330 million Americans here in America. You guys are slaves. You guys are slaves to succumbing to Republican and Democrat. You never made your own way, so you cuddled up to crimes that you know were wrong. Just to give you an example. My classmates, all of them, except for one man, one person. And now I exclude the 10 sheriff's deputies. They have PERS and they did well. They had Cheryl Presser at the time. I'm a fan of hers. She did a hell of a job with calipers in the 90s. But here it is. Deferred comp killed you guys. Past your fathers and your cousins and your sisters and your relationships killed you guys. You guys, the Democratic Party kept you guys hung up on racism here in California. Since 2012, you guys. Since 2012, you guys haven't had a choice in California. It's a Democratic way or it's a highway. You guys don't have a Republican. You guys, if a Republican runs, it's rigged against them. That's why you have Malia Cohen up there, doesn't know what the hell she's doing, doesn't have a background in finance or economics, like the Asian guy that she ran against, that she She lost too handily, I guess. She won handily because Gavin Newsom appointed her after her being the president on the police commission that what? Illegally fired Joel Babbs for nothing. I'm going to fight today. I'm going to fight tomorrow. I'm going to fight every day until, listen to this. Current mayor, Daniel Leary is in jail. Gavin Newsom is in jail. Now, I'm not just speaking from past, just speaking crazy or anything like that. Joel Babbs has evidence. I wait 34 years. You know I've got a bunch of evidence. Evidence like this. And one thing about, they say, oh, Mayor Leary says, oh, it's not our administration. It passed by. But in private, they say, oh, he's a channeled slave. And we're just going to continue not to pay him. He could have did the right thing. I showed you. That I'm trying to get with him and trying to get him to do the right thing. I'm showing you. I know he wouldn't. So what he did was he sent his goons out to come by the house, to come by my house over there, and to threaten me and into being silent. Then, at the making of my last video, he called me numerous times. He had him call me numerous times. Carlos Manfredi called, tried to arrange a meeting to where I would be assassinated. How are you calling a retired guy that you retired out? What are you calling him for? You calling him just to kill him. You're calling me on that day just to kill me. No other reason. I'm retired. I'm no longer on the payroll. But take a look at my transmissions. He's trying to get, I said, what do you want to meet with me for? He says, I don't know what they want. I'm just in the middle. He don't know what they want? I'm going to tell you, history shows what they want. When Mayor Ed Lee wasn't doing what they wanted exactly, he was washed away. He's over at Safeway on Monterey, and he falls dead. Coincidence? He wasn't papering up Joel Babbs. He wasn't being forceful with Joel Babbs. Who was his chief then? Greg Sir. Greg Sir introduced me to him. They worked side by side at the PUC over on Market Street. Nice man. Greg Sir, nice friend. I still consider him a friend to this day. But my good friend Ian Firminger has a problem with what the way things happen, and I gotta always side with him. But he and Greg Sir weren't moving too fast for Gavin Newsom, and so Gavin Newsom at that time was he was the lieutenant governor, and what happened was Ed Lee falls dead. Chris Shea falls dead in his sleep. Yeah, right. The public defender, Jeff Adachi, takes a fatal dose of drugs and he falls dead. And they were going to do the same thing with Joel Babbs. The reason I still hold this picture up is because from the time that her son was shot, that's when the justice system failed her. Not only were they not doing their due process or doing their due diligence or abiding by the rule of law or the Constitution, where the Constitution has been broken so many times, so many ways, so many constitutions against Joel Babbs. And also this young lady, Wendy Barnes. She suffered the same fate. And one of the officers said, a black officer, said to me, he said, why does she go crazy like that in public? Man, she could get her point across if she wasn't screaming and yelling. I didn't say nothing to him, but it's comments like that and people like him, a black person, is the reason why they're in the situation they're in. And him having no compassion for her, like all the rest of them, no compassion for Joel Babbs, no compassion for anything. All they care about is promoting, and all they care about is making overtime. And if you look at what a failed system that they have here, and it permeates throughout the whole United States of America, is you have people living beyond their means. You have people with no income. I'm going to put Wendy down. I love you. Put that down for a minute. And what you have is you have people that's living beyond their means. You have people that's struggling. Not struggling when I told you people didn't have money. They don't have money here in the police department, because if they had money, they would spend it on something. They would quickly buy something that does not create value or anything like that. What happens is it's a culture. It starts with Democrats giving something to someone. It's like the welfare system was created. And I believe it was Eisenhower said, if you take the poorest white guy and you can convince him he's better than the richest black guy, you can pick his pocket all day. And you would have that guy based on race only. So as we lose our position overall in the United States of America as world dominance, we lose our position economically. We have to rely on different type of things to make it where China is just outdoing us in a lot of ways. Joel Babbs creates wealth. I create wealth for companies in the form of market cap. So you look at a few $1 trillion that Joel's worth in market, and then another, look at a few trillion that Joel's worth. That's market cap for the American companies. I'm a liberator of American business. I'm a capitalist, yes. Not afraid to say it, I'm a capitalist. And I create money, I create wealth, I create opportunity through growing money. Even though I don't have any employees today, well, not directly, is I create wealth. Tell me a more patriotic person in America than a person that creates wealth, regardless of how he's done by a race of people, white, black, or whatever. I want everyone to prosper. And I came with that same mindset, that same determination, that same drive into making people rich. I came to this department wanting people to be rich. Then they wouldn't have to succumb to what they're doing today. Tell me this, America. Tell me this, Mr. Trump. How can you have Gavin Newsom parading around, and you have these guys being disruptive? It's being disruptive, Democrats, after they lost an election. But you have Gavin Newsom parading around for the rights of illegal citizens. What about Joel Babbs? The rights of illegal citizens. You see him fighting like a dog. He's fighting like a dog. He's on every channel. Then you have Alex Padilla doing his stunt. And all these guys know of the story of Joel Babbs. a great American. You ought to be ashamed, America. Democrats, you guys ought to be ashamed. Here's a gem, Joel Babbs, sitting here that made it on American soil. The only time I get upset, and you've never seen me upset until that's about the extent of how upset I get, is when I think about this young lady, and her life didn't have to be this way because of me. That's the only time you'll see me upset. But the rest of the time, I treat it like business. It's business. So let's get back to business. The only time that America has had the opportunity to do the right thing on any level is right now. America didn't do that because America didn't know the story of Joel Babbs. Only the Democrats in California knew the story of Joel Babbs. And over the years, it's grown big because of not getting representation from any lawyer. No lawyer. Think about this, that you have Netflix for profit, and I own Netflix. I own quite a few billion shares, quite a few $1 billion of Netflix. Netflix has a procedure where you go, and they have to fix this, where you go to Netflix, but you need to have a lawyer first. You need to have their lawyer first to talk to their lawyer, and they arrange with Netflix for you to have to speak with Netflix. They're like the go-between. Well, Gavin Newsom has so much power over them, Netflix, for profit, that the lawyers would not take this information, would not let me do a documentary. They wouldn't tell. Netflix would definitely take it because this is the hottest thing since baked clams. But they won't take it because they don't know about it. Joel Babbs doesn't get justice here in California because the world doesn't know about it. It's like the Doobie Brothers song, which you have to do. Doobie Brothers has a song, Taking It to the Streets. That's what you have to do. Take it to the streets. Take it to the public. No more need for lying is what it says in one of the lyrics. Take it to the streets. So today, and from the time that this video is released, and everyone's set in place now, and all I have to do is make a phone call to blast it out there, so you guys say, and we'll be forever known in history, in time. I have no reason to continue going through, letting America continue to see America suffer at the hands of Democrats. Think about the two parties. Historically, you have Republicans that come from business, that come from the business sector and things like that, right? You have Democrats that's supposed to be really closely tied to civil rights and the struggle and things like that. Back in the 60s, that was the case. In 2025, the Democrats are the problem. That's the problem in America. That's why you have, so they said Fox News was started on propaganda. No, it was started on non-traditional news of reporting exactly what the Democrats were doing. So they say Rupert Murdoch, and it started on propaganda. Yes, somewhat, but so was CNN and all these other places. That's why CNN, MSNBC lost their way. Joy Reid is an amazing lady. I watched her. It's unbelievable how talented she is. And I would like for her to come work for me someday. And Kamala Harris, whom she doesn't know, she doesn't know who I am. But I was at one when you came through the back door for 4 years, sitting right there, standing right there, greeting you every morning. That's who I am. That's Joel Babbs. That's Officer Joel Babbs when you came through that back door, ma'am. And I think your talent would be better used if you would come back to California and start your own legal practice with my finances and prosecute these Democrats and then run for president. What would be a more noble job for you, Vice President Harris, than to do that? I don't think the governorship would be a good fit for you because I plan on abolishing, well, it will be abolished just once this is out. The Democratic Party should be abolished in America. If not, California. Totally abolished after what's been done to Joel Babbs. I'm asking you, President Harris, to come back to California, not run as governor, but run to put Daniel Leary, Gavin Newsom, former chief of police in San Francisco, Scott, in jail. I'm asking you, I give you RICO stats, RICO to convict on the RICO, to convict on something that never goes away, capital murder. I give you that. I give you direct testimony, direct, to convict Gavin Newsom of murder for the execution. Oh, I left out someone. What made it all possible? Paul Henderson. Paul Henderson. Paul Henderson. Person in charge of DPH. Paul Henderson, Paul Henderson, behind the scenes. Paul Henderson. Paul Henderson is a killer, a liar, a cheat, a thief, a murderer. I know I said murderer twice. He makes it all possible. He's a black man. Good friends, co-workers with Marlene Randall. Bad people. Pete Walsh. Robert O'Sullivan. Mike Baglia. So many of them. I have them all written down. Guy out the range, Latin guy out at the police range. Threatened me at gunpoint. Let me tell you someone that's just a great person. My friend, Sergeant Alan Calloway. He's retired now. That man is an honest man, like myself. Honorable man, like myself. I love that man. Alan Calloway. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Thank you for just being a friend. Not thanking you for anything that you've done for me. Just thank you for being a friend, Alan. I hope I will reciprocate. You're a very good man, and don't think that it's gone unnoticed. in a sea of evil and hate. I would also like to say that I would also like to say to CNBC, Dan Favor, Bill Griffin, I go back to those days, Maria Bartiromo, Ansana, Jeremy Siegel. Jeremy Siegel is a Wharton School of Business professor. Wow, that guy is so smart. Joe Kernan, watch him at 4 a.m. CNBC kind of was there anytime I hit a low point and I thought that it wasn't, a low point though, I thought that, wow, I can't put this all together. There's so much information coming from so many different ways. I look at CNBC and I said, wow, they have to look at all these stocks and they package it so well. So I learned my organizational skills from CNBC, from 4 a.m. till about when Kramer comes on he comes on at 3, he stays on for an hour. It's Kramer, can't miss Kramer. And Jim Kramer is the best. Those type of people kept me going, kept me strong when I wavered or had my attention somewhere else. They kept me with my organizational skills. They kept me with my organizational skills sharp. They kept me with my focus. They kept me ambitious. They kept me being in the moment, being knowledgeable, kept me up on my stocks, kept me up on things like that. Definitely very, very, very helpful. Introducing in new stocks and just creating wealth for me. If it wasn't for those guys, and of course Warren Buffett and like I said, the Grave Dancer. I love that guy, man. Sam Zell. So yes, all I want to do is be like Sam Zell, create something that didn't exist before. And that's all I want to do with the police department. I want to create wealth for these people through proof of concept. Let me show you the proof. Let me show you my concept. Let me show you the proof. And let me show you how you can profit from it. That's all I want to do. But I've done that, and that's easy, and that's on autopilot. Once you get great stocks and you stick with them forever and you grow, you have so much time. So now I'm a lawman. I've been a lawman since 1991. All I'm immersed in just sending people to jail in mass numbers. That's all I'm going to do. That's all I want to do. And once this evidence is out there, you see your governor who wants to be what? Only one thing. He wants to introduce this. He talks about dictatorship. He's a dictator. You're a dictator. He talks about being a dictator. He talks about Donald Trump being a dictator. He's the real dictator. Donald Trump came from business, and he saw, wow, this Republican Democrat stuff is so dirty, and these guys are so dishonest. He said, wow, nothing like business. He says, well, business, either you make it or you don't, or you get called this or that, but then you live to see another day. Hopefully you get more financing, you go to a different way, and it's business. But this right here, this Republican Democrat stuff, especially Democrats. I don't know about Republicans because I live in California. I'm not privy to Republican. I don't know the upbringing of the people that showed me how to live. If they were Republican or Democrats, we never talked like that. All we did was make money all day. If you're making money, you don't have time for all this stuff. I never voted until I came into the police department. So I don't know. I'm busy making money. I don't care about nothing. The price of eggs doesn't matter to Joel Babbs. I don't care about the price of gas because I have more money than I'll ever need in a gazillion lifetimes to afford it. But they just won't give it to me. No other reason. Think about this. I can work that when I was told from my previous number 2 video, when I told you how the chief, how Yolanda Williams called me down there, and I was called down there. I was also in a room, and with the chief's acknowledged he's meeting people in the side of the room or what have you. And there's a guy in the room. He's got 3 DUIs. And the chief tells me, he told me a couple of things there that I didn't mention, I didn't put on there. The chief told me, he says, hey, see that guy that was up in there? I know he's got 3 DUIs. And you haven't done anything whatsoever but make money. And he's going to have a job for life. He's going to have a job for life. And you're going to get fired. You're going to kill yourself. And this guy is still working there today with 3 DUIs. Work Whitfield. 3 DUIs. And Joel Babbs has been fired. Fired. For rape. Fired for rape. I reached out my hand to then Mayor London Breed. She called me to the meeting. I reached out my hand. She, I don't want to touch you. I don't want to touch you. You're a rapist. I'm a rapist. So she went with the, and then I see people from the black community over the Bayview and other places. They say, hey, man, you're a rapist. I'm a rapist? I'm a rapist because the Democratic Party made Joel Babbs a rapist. Verbally. Without even a shred of proof. Defamation of character. Defamation, that's the worst case of defamation that there ever is. Baseless. I was fired because the rumor mill, the police rumor mill, the black community rumor mill, the corrupt commissioner. I think she's commissioner or president right now, who is assigned to my case. These people are morally bankrupt. These people are killers. These people that I met, and this is for mainly for the black people, the people that I grew up with, the people that I met, these people would kill Malcolm X. These people would kill Martin Luther King today if it was for a few dollars, for a job, for a standing. These people that I know, people in the police department, definitely, black people in the police department, definitely, would kill a great leader. Here it is. Joel Babbs. No one's ever achieved this. Black people can't get behind greatness. They can't get behind greatness because it's not white man approved. Joel Babbs is not white man approved. I didn't make it by singing, dancing, selling drugs. I didn't make it like that. So it's not approved in the black community. You look at Mr. Smith, 11, 12 billion. I don't know what he's worth. Bunch, great accomplishment. He paid the tuition of every student, I guess, that year, and all that he asks is that you kind of come to some things and follow him and see how he did it. See how he made it. No takers, really. No takers. After he paid it, they went their way, and it's not cool to be. I tell you, making money the way we make money is not considered cool in the black community. But they would definitely help me spin it. But it's not cool. It's not looked at, and definitely not in a racist police department where the blacks are turned against you. because of position, because of a promotion, because of a salary. But America is hooked on that drug called every 2 weeks, that paycheck. It's got you so wound up that you don't know nothing else but getting that paycheck. So you can go out and spend and buy and spend whatever the latest cars or whatever it is. So you can go spend or buy jewelry or something like that. But it's nothing sustainable. You look at today, when we all started out, just take one great example. Great example would be coming into the police department. We all start out, 40 of us, we all start out. And we're the same. One guy has a house already that I know of at that time. David Lazar, he owned a house. Well, I knew he wasn't a candidate to be an investor because he was in as a dispatcher. And I think he started creating debt then. So I couldn't talk to him about it. I knew that. So I didn't know anyone's. All I knew is he had a house. And I never wanted to buy a house. I thought that was so crazy that whatever job he had, he bought a house with it. And him being a former realtor, so I asked him, I said, why'd you buy a house? He said, well, location, location, location. And I said, okay, so I'm asking you again, why'd you buy a house? So he said, well, it's a great investment. I say, compared to the stock market? He says, well, you don't know what the stock market's going to do. I don't even think I went into depth like that with him. You don't know what the stock market's going to do. But I do know that a house will go up in value. I said, well, I don't think it will accrue like 10 years out from now, like the stock market will. I don't think that house, for the outlay of money that you put into that house, would appreciate like it would if you bought a stock and waited 10 years. And still, then you would assess, wow, I made say 200,000 on that, and maybe the house went up in that 10 years. I'd say the house went up 50,000. Then you would be left with a problem of, do I sell the stock? Which I would never do. I said, you would have a $200,000 problem. He didn't think that was great. So years later, he would come to me and with $9,000, a poultry $9,000 after working all these years. And that's all he had to invest. And I told him to buy NVIDIA at that time that was selling for $2 or something like that. Post $2 with zero on it. What was the EBITDA on that? No, they didn't have any earnings back then. No, they didn't have any earnings. They had, I think, 500 EBITDA, 500 earnings per share. So on earnings per share. So he didn't do that. He didn't pull the thing. So today, David's stock would be worth $14 million today. Does he have that? No, he doesn't have $14 million. I can tell you that. No one has $14 million. No one has $1 million in the bank. I told you about the bad finances with the Pingos, and I don't think she can access that million that she has. And everyone's back is a 960. And 960 is, after you do so horribly with your money, you come back at a 960, or you work for a really good guy, really friend of mine, former friend of mine. I think we're still friends, Jeff Levin. You can work security, toting a gun late at night, for stars and famous people, and like that. You can do that for Jeff. Jeff gives them a job to earn more money. But these people are broke, and they're back, and they're mad, they're broke, they're beat up. The body's all worn out, and they're more racist than ever, and they're broker than ever, and they went through all that money. They're like a punched out boxer. Boxers never have money. In the end, none of them have money. None of them. Even if you think the current guy has money, he doesn't have money. Or you look at anyone in sports. These athletes, they most of them, 95% of them end up broke, and that's a shame to run through all that money with no money knowledge. So I'm going to end this by saying that President Donald Trump, please, I ask you, please arrest Gavin Newsom for the murder of our son. Son of God, our son, Wendy Barnes' son. I'm asking you to arrest. The evidence will show Paul Henderson. I'm asking you to arrest sitting judge Marlene Randall. I'm asking for you to arrest the current and the past administration of the San Francisco Police Department. I'm asking that you arrest current Mayor Daniel Leary. I'm asking that you arrest London Breed, Malia Cohen. If I forgot some names, I have the names written down. Pete Walsh. I'm asking for you as my president, coming off a great win, is winning the presidency for the second time. I'm asking for you to help the most proudest American, the greatest patriot of America has ever known. I'm asking you, President Trump, to please arrest and convict. I give you all the evidence, overwhelming evidence to convict. They won't let Joel Babbs into a courtroom. They won't assign. I can't get an attorney in the United States of America. I can't get my money released without an executive order, Mr. Trump. I'm sure if Joel Babbs' case went to the Supreme Court, I would win hands down, overwhelming, beyond the shadow of a doubt. All the evidence is mine. They have mortgaged themselves down to zero, sub-zero. Please help a proud American that only created wealth, untold wealth, one person for the United States of America, Joel Babbs. Thank you very much.